It was a warm summer Friday night. I'd recently moved from Australia to Canada and I was all on my own. No friends, no family, just a 23-year-old me sitting in my new bedroom trying to convince myself to go out to a bar. I'm the type of person who loves to head out for a beer with my mates, but never the type to fly solo for an entire night. After watching countless YouTube videos about confidence and social engagement in an attempt to try and hype myself up, hours of deliberation passed before I finally decided to get off of my bed, head out and try to have a good solo night out and maybe even make some friends. This one night ended up being one of the best and most important nights I'd ever have. In this video, I hope I can help someone else that might be struggling to find the motivation or courage to head out on their own adventure. This doesn't necessarily apply to a night out at a bar, as I think it's applicable in most social settings, but I will be basing this video on this particular night out that I had. I'll outline and explain the tips that helped me the most when I was in the nervous position as a hesitant bar goer, as I explain the events of that Friday night in St. Catharines. After convincing myself to hit the bars, I got ready to head out. I made sure that I looked my best, I had on some new sneakers and my favourite shirt. My advice to you is, wear whatever's going to make you feel the most confident with the way you look. If you're going to feel like you're wearing something that's too loud or too extra, maybe leave that at home for another night. You want to feel comfortable with what you're wearing because everything else you're doing throughout the night is going to be outside of your comfort zone. There's no need to stress yourself out more than you already are. If you're someone that's comfortable wearing loud outfits and you think that it might be a good conversation starter, then by all means, you do you. Okay, so I'm ready and I begin heading downtown. Luckily, where I live is walking distance to the bars, so I start walking. Initially, I've got my headphones in and I'm blasting some pump-up jams, but as soon as I approach downtown and start to cross paths with people, I decide to take them out. The best piece of advice I can give you is to resist the temptation to have your headphones in for the entire journey to the bar. Music in my ears tends to put me into a bit of a trance, so as soon as someone tries to converse with me when my headphones are in, then the first thing that comes out of my mouth is trash 9 times out of 10. If you're anything like me, the best thing you can do is prime yourself for a social interaction by having yourself tune into your surroundings instead of blocking them out. If you're walking, taking a cab, or using public transport, you want to remain open to any form of communication that arises. Think of spontaneous interactions or conversations with people on your way to the venue as a bit of a warm-up exercise. Talk to the Uber driver, say a polite hello to the people sitting near you on the train. Remain open and inviting to positive interactions. Good vibes only. Alright, I've arrived at the bar. This bar in particular was a bit more of an Irish pub with a dance floor that can tend to get a bit rowdy later on in the evening. I had no idea Canadians like country music so much, but I'm in for the ride. I thought this would be a good option as it's more of a friendly, let's have a chat type of vibe, which can be good for meeting people. The last place you want to go is to a club where you can't even hear yourself think, let alone hold a conversation with someone. I hadn't really been out in this town of St. Catharines before, so I wasn't really sure what time people showed up to bars, so I showed up around 9:30, and I was almost the first person there. There was hardly anyone in there when I arrived. A few random tables had a few people on them, but for the most part it was empty, and the bar staff were gearing up for the night ahead. And this is where my biggest piece of advice comes in. Talk to the bar staff. Get friendly with the bar staff early on because they're a guaranteed interaction that you're going to be having throughout the night. If you can become somewhat acquainted with them, it's a great opportunity to continue to warm up your social interaction, and in addition to this, it might open the door for someone else to enter the conversation. The bar staff are ultimately there to make sure that everyone in their bar has their drinks and has a good time. You might even find that they may help you make friends or point you in the direction of other people who are alone or a group of regulars. On this particular night, I found myself having friendly back and forth conversation with a couple of the bartenders as I sat at the bar for about 30 to 40 minutes before another patron overheard us and piped into the chat. Before you know it, me and this other guy are talking about our drinks, and then ourselves, and then I'm at a table with his friends and they're buying me shots. Does it help being the foreign Australian guy in a bar full of Niagara locals? Yes. but I'm almost certain that as long as you're a friendly person that can add a positive vibe to someone's night, you'll always be welcome to join in on the fun. This leads me to my final tip: stay positive. Things may not happen right away, and they may not happen the way you planned them. I was sitting at that bar waiting for people to rock up for over half an hour, every minute of which I was nervous. I wasn't sure if anyone was even going to show up, but my determination to see the night out did not falter. So focus on being your authentic self and try to be the person who invites social interaction. You don't need to be super witty or a smooth individual to be the person people want to be around. A smile and a laugh can go a long way. And remember that people who are going out to a public venue like a bar are going there because they want to be around other people. You're another person, so make sure that you take advantage of that. Anyway, before I knew it, that night I was at a house party with 20 other people from that bar. They were all locals. They were happy to take me in, get me involved, have a few drinks, and it ended up being one of the best nights of my life. That was an incredibly important night for me, because it showed that I'm capable of heading out by myself, and if I can do it, so can you. So to summarize, my biggest tips for heading out alone are: dress comfortably and confidently, take out the headphones and invite interactions on the way there, get friendly with the bar staff and sit at the bar if it's an option, and be positive, add to someone's night. I hope that this video can help at least one person. This is the first video I've ever made, so if you enjoyed it at all, feel free to do the things that people do. And if you've got any advice or constructive criticism for me about the video or the advice that I've given, please feel free to leave it down below. I'm hoping that whatever this channel ends up becoming can be a safe, positive place with good vibes only. So thank you so much for watching. Cheers. Oh, and I suppose lastly, I probably should add that I'm not any type of professional. I'm in no way telling you that this is the way to do things 100%. I'm just giving the best advice that I can give based on my experience, in the hope that it may help someone else who is going through a similar sort of predicament. I know how tough it can be being that lonely person. I moved over to Canada for 2 years by myself, didn't know anybody when I got there, and now that I'm leaving, I feel like much more of a complete person, and I feel like I've really learned how to cultivate a great support network and community, and I'm just hoping I can maybe share some of that wisdom. And by no means am I claiming to have all of the answers, because I'm still figuring my own shit out. So yep, anyway, I'll let you go. If you want to maybe know a bit more about me in another video, let me know. I'm happy to talk about that. I'm not ready to show my face as of just yet, but maybe we'll get there one day. Alright, cheers guys, thanks.